Hi, I'm Naomi with the Naomi Butler Show, and I am going to do some painting on these two 48 by 60 inch canvases. And I had to kind of replace my palettes and put some more paints down, and I forgot to put my white, and a lot of times I just use the gesso for my white, and I'll put white on both palettes. I have different colors. I have some greens and blues on this one, and I have some pinks and red and purple on this other one, and so I'll put a lot of white because I use a lot of white, and gesso's cheaper, so I put a lot of white on both of these, and I'll show these palettes to you. So anyway, I'll leave this kind of upside down so I can get the paint or the gesso out easier. And like I said, I'd already put down a lot of colors on both of these. These are the Masterson palettes where I get the felt from Michael's. It's just the white felt. I'll show you what I do and how I make a palette sometimes. Is I have the white felt that is in the bottom of this, and I wet that down, soak it really good, and then the palette paper, which fits in here, I wet it, turn it upside down, wet it some more, and then put the paints on. And when I'm through painting today, what I will do is take a spray bottle and spray down a lot of the paints that you see. I'm gonna go fix the camera because it is wobbly jawed, and I don't know if I can fix that exactly, but we're gonna try. Okay, when you're doing your own video and you're not a professional, this is what you get. Okay, so today, again, we're just gonna play, and I'm going to also, sorry, I forgot to bring over my handy dandy homemade long extension brush that I like to use with a lot of colors. And today I'm going to use some of my black that I had mixed some water in, and this is what we did on earlier layers, and I'm just going to do this so it's real loose. This is just a metal rod that is attached with duct tape with a brush, an old brush, and I've turned the canvases upside down from the last time you saw them. So again, we're playing, and we're just going to keep doing this until this thing comes together. And there may be some areas that I'm thinking about composition, so I may want more of a darker area, and so I may add more dark colors to that, and I may add a bunch of white too, but I'm just kind of, again, just playing. As you can see, I like the intuitive type painting. The play is the fun part, and then when you get down to where it really comes together, you're starting to focus on more of the composition, what you see, what you need to do or don't do, what you need to cover up or leave, and it just, there's no way to explain it, it just comes together. I will tell you, before I painted these today, I have a fine grit and medium grit sandpaper blocks, and I sanded down on both of these some of the rough edges, because when I'm painting like this, some areas might get a lot of raised paint, and so it might have a an effect of where it could maybe hurt somebody. So I sand those down. And even when I'm through, I will sand down before I varnish to make sure there's no rough edges to hurt somebody. So anyway, I'm just kind of, I got some on, this is why I have cheap tablecloths, I guess is what you call them, on the wall here, because I'm a messy artist and I might slip up just like I did there and get some paint that doesn't just stay on the canvas, it goes somewhere else. So far I haven't gotten it on the ceiling. That's a good thing. Okay, we're gonna just go to this one. Again, this is just playing with just one color like I did in the early stages. So I'm bringing it back and going to see what comes out of this layer today. I may not paint too long today, but I'm feeling good and wanted to have some fun painting today. It's hard to have control over what you're doing when you paint with a tool like this. And if you're one of those that really has to have a lot of control, then you're probably not going to enjoy this kind of brush. But if you're like me and you like to play with the paint, then just get an old cheap brush. Buy one of these metal rods at Home Depot or Lowe's hardware store and just duct tape it to it. And when you hold it from the longest edge, you get more of an uncontrolled way to paint, and that right there alone will bring you some interesting results. Okay, I'm going to set that down. I got paint on my finger, so it's going to go on the canvas. And I'm going to just dip this in white. I'm not going to clean it. I'm just going to dip it in white. I'm going to go into some of those areas that I had the black, and it's going to create kind of a gray. You could even just do a black and white and gray painting and just have different shades, different tones of just those two colors, and it makes for another type of fun painting. Some of that over here. Title of these two paintings is Energy, and if you go back and watch the beginning, the very beginning, I wrote words on the canvas. I wrote some affirmations, and It's been so much fun just playing with paint, and I know it will all come together. Don't know what it's going to look like yet, but I know it will be awesome when it's done. And so stay with me while we go through this process, and you'll see how it comes together. All right, I'm going to kind of get all the paint off of that I can. Just kind of squish it. Actually, I'm going to have to change brushes next time because there is very little brush left on this. So that's what happens when you use an old brush. I'm going to show you up close how little brush there is left. And so I will change this out before I use it the next time. Okay, I'm going to do some mixing. Last time I used this and I mixed a few colors, and I'm going to take some green, some ultramarine blue, some phthalo blue, and mix them with some of this gray mix that had black and white in it, and see what kind of color we come up with, and put some water in it. It had a little bit of pink left in the bowl, so it's going to turn out to be kind of a teal gray mix. You just never know what colors you're going to get until you mix them together, and that makes it kind of fun. It's really a light blue gray right now. I'll show you. And so I'm going to just take a larger brush here and start just kind of painting this area. I dropped some on the rag, which I'm picking up. I just wanted to put a little bit of that color on both canvases and see where we go with it. can see I've got some of that black mixing in with it, which is going to make kind of a gray here, a little blue gray, which is fine. Okay, now I'm going to take some of this other color that I don't even know what colors I used to mix this color up with, but it's a real light melon color. And so it's been on this painting before. You're going to see areas that have it, but I may kind of go back over some of these just to focus on that color a little bit more. I like that color, it's pretty. You see it here again. I like those drips, especially when they're on a light on dark or dark on light. Notice what I'm doing here, I'm just kind of wetting the brush because it still has paint on it, and so I'm using a lot of the paint up by just spraying the brush and letting the paint drip. Getting all the paint out of the brush as much as I can. Okay, now I'm going to do something that I don't know. We're going to just try this. We're going to just use white, And I'm gonna put some white on this scraper, and we're just gonna test this, and I'll show you what I mean. I have a piece of, I don't even know what you want to call it, but it has a design to it. And I put the paint on the other side, and then I'm stamping it. It's really only making dots, so it's not going to do what I really want, but that's okay. It's making little dots, which is kind of cool. And I need my sponge, which I don't have right now. That's okay. When you're trying to do contrast, you want light up against dark, no matter what colors they are. That gives you some contrast and helps you with some of the composition areas. We're not finalizing anything yet because we're not on the final layer, so it doesn't matter what we do. But this didn't work like I wanted it. I'll have to get my sponge for next time and show you that next time. This is a soft gray, mint gray that I had mixed up, and it's really hardened a little bit, so it's probably not going to work for us to use today, but I'm trying to make some liquid out of it to paint with, and we'll see. I'm just going to use a little brush. See if we can just make little marks. Little dab of dia. More water to that, so I can do some of those over here. And you notice this time I'm putting it on top of another, that lighter blue, and it's not totally the black and white contrast, totally light, totally dark, but it still gives it another look. And we can let that drip over that really pretty melon color. Let's do a couple of them up here. Okay, let me get all of that off of there. Okay, I'm going to take some phthalo blue, some titanium white, and white. And this is going to make a really pretty blue. It's a different blue than what you see on here. Kind of gotten that black, so I'm just making some shapes with it. Added more white to it. And as you mingle with other colors, as you can tell, it creates other colors. All right, let's see what we can do here. And I'm gonna make a red and green and white mix and create kind of a red-gray. It really creates a pretty color. Since it's darker than this light color, I'm going to kind of take some of that, even though it mixed in with the black. You see how that covers really well to drip over. And some more of it. In the same area. Another way to get paint off your brush. You just spray it with a water bottle and it drips down and makes some cool drips. Okay, I'm gonna stop and continue another time. I don't even know what part this is, but as you can tell, I keep adding more and more colors and layers. And some of my paintings have 12 to 15 layers before they come together. You never know, but since these are large canvases, it definitely might have 12 before it's done. Who knows? But it will tell us what it needs to do. So I'm gonna end this. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Naomi Butler Show. Ring the bell, and that way you'll be notified of new videos as they get published. Thank you so much for watching.